Hey, this is Andrew with Terradura Landscapes, and this is my first YouTube video. And today I thought I would answer the question of how do you find a landscape contractor? Obviously, I'm a landscape contractor, but I thought this was an important question because I've been asked this before by the Austin Statesman, and I just thought I would give my response here in case you're looking for a landscape contractor. These are some of the questions I would be asking. First off, I would suggest, and this is obvious, you find someone who's reliable. There's a couple different ways to check that. I would say if you know someone who's worked with a landscape contractor, they had a really good experience, that's obviously, your number one go-to. Next would be looking for reviews on the landscape company. If you can't find a website, you can't find anything online, I would be a little bit leery. At least having had someone work with them before that would be really important. So the other thing I would look for is work with someone who knows their strengths. So for instance, my company, we focus in on xeriscaping, native plants, steel work. There's some stuff we just don't do. We don't do well. We subcontract out. For instance, concrete work. We don't do a whole lot of concrete work, but there are great companies that do a lot of good concrete work. If it's part of a larger project, we'll take something on like that. But you need to check with them and see if they can identify their strengths and if that fits your project. Another thing I would look for is someone who communicates. Lots of communication is really what you're looking for, because you don't want to get into the middle of a project, have something come up, and they're not there to answer your questions, or they disappear and you have no idea where they are. It's always best to have someone who communicates ahead of time what's going on with your project. So that's really important. And if they're not responding to your emails, not responding to phone calls, that's a big telltale sign that they're not going to be the best person to work with. And then last thing I would look for is, and this is not a common thing you look for, but find out about their crew. Who's going to be working on your property? Do you feel safe with them there? Can you communicate easily with them? If you have some changes, are they going to be able to relay those changes to the people who set up your design for you? So figure out about their crew, figure out what they're like before you make your final decision, because ultimately you're going to see probably more of the crew or the crew lead than you will see the designer or the owner of the company out there. So those are my tips for finding a good landscape contractor, and I wish you luck in your future project. Thank you. Again, this is Andrew with Terradura Landscapes with my very first YouTube video.